Welcome to this learning series. I am Lynetta Alexander, an educator, playwright, writer, poet, and overall bibliophile. I retired from teaching a few years ago, but with all the problems with literacy in our city, I decided to do something about it. Like and subscribe so you can get up to date lessons and read alouds to help you improve and enjoy English language arts. Maybe you'll end up enjoying it as much as I do. It's literally all about literacy. So let's get started. We're going to continue our lesson on the parts of speech. As you can recall, there are 8 parts of speech. There's a previous lesson on nouns. If you have not seen that, go back and check that out. For this lesson, we'll be looking at pronouns and adjectives. Since we've taken some time to learn about nouns, it's important to be able to identify pronouns, articles, and adjectives. You can think of these 3 parts of speech as the noun's besties. These parts of speech are usually close by or in some relationship with nouns. Pronouns are words that replace a noun or nouns. They help by stopping us from having to repeat the name over and over again. Adjectives are words used to describe or modify a noun or a pronoun. They usually come before the noun that it's describing, but not always. And articles are 3 frequently used adjectives, so they get their own category. A and the are articles. We'll start with pronouns. Pronouns replace one or more nouns. The noun that is replaced is called the antecedent. Without pronouns, we might sound like this. Robert went to Robert's house to ask Robert's parents if Robert could ride Robert's scooter to Robert's friend's house. Thanks to pronouns, the sentence changes to Robert went to his house to ask his parents if he could ride his scooter to his friend's house. There are different types of personal pronouns. First person pronoun, that means you're talking about yourself. You're the one, you're talking about your own experience, so you would use I. Me, my, mine, we, us, our, ours. You are included in the first person pronouns. For example, during the summers, I visited my family in the South. Second person, you're talking to someone. You, your, yours. Did you ask your mom if I can come over your house after school? That's second person. Third person, you're usually talking, if you're talking about someone who isn't there. Okay. So you're talking about, you're talking about someone who isn't there or is separate from you. He, him, his, she, her, hers, it, its, they, them, their, theirs. The coach gathered the players around her and gave them a pep talk. Okay. And then there's another category of pronouns. They're called reflexive and intensive pronouns. And I'm going to be honest, people use these incorrectly all the time. First person, when we're talking about self, and you, I'm sure you've like someone will say myself, but really it's not correct. So first person, so I can stop rambling. First person, myself, ourselves. Second person, again, you're talking to someone. Yourself, yourselves. Third person, you're talking about someone maybe that isn't there or with you. So himself, herself, itself, themselves. A reflexive pronoun, it reflects back to kind of like the subject. So in this case, Juan wrote himself a note as a reminder. Who did he write the note to? Himself. The rescuers did not consider themselves heroes. Rescuers and themselves is reflective of the rescuers. So you wouldn't say the rescuers did not consider himself heroes because there's more than one rescuer. Okay. Intensive pronouns are used to just intensify the subject that's being talked about. Amelia designed the costumes herself. And that just puts a little on it. You could just say Amelia designed the costumes, but when you say she designed them herself, it puts a little extra, it intensifies how important it is that she was able to do it on her own. Or I myself sold more than 50 tickets. So you're flexing a little bit when you use the intensive pronouns. And then we're going to talk a little bit about pronoun antecedent agreement because that's really important, especially when you're writing. Looking at the sentences we looked at before, Juan wrote himself a note as a reminder. If Juan identifies as male, it would be inappropriate to say Juan wrote herself a note or Juan wrote themselves a note because Juan is singular. Juan identifies as a male, so then the pronoun himself would be reflective of Juan. Okay. The rescuers did not consider themselves heroes. Rescuers is plural, so the pronoun should also be plural, as in themselves. And then again, Amelia designed the costumes herself. Amelia identifies as Amelia's pronouns are she, her, hers. So it would be inappropriate to say Amelia designed the costumes itself. Okay? So making sure that the pronoun and the antecedent match or the pronoun matches with the word that it is replacing. That's called pronoun antecedent agreement. Writing sentences with pronouns. Here's an activity you should try. You and a friend can write paragraphs about, let's say, a celebrity or a famous historical figure using pronouns only. Describe the person, but don't reveal who it is until your friend has a chance to guess. This is a fun way to practice writing using pronouns. You can also use your critical listening skills to identify when there isn't pronoun antecedent agreement. Okay, let's quickly talk about adjectives. Adjectives are words used to describe or modify a noun or a pronoun. They usually come before the noun, but as I said, not always. They come before or after. The most frequently used adjectives are a and the, so they get their own name because people are always using them, so they're articles. A and an can refer to um, a book, a car. So you're talking about any one of them. And so those are indefinite articles. But when you use the car, you're talking about a specific one. So then it is a definite article. The is a definite article, one of its kind. Adjectives may come before or after the word it modifies. And by modifies, it means describe. Okay. So you're getting some more information about a noun based on the adjectives. The rare painting was found in a pile at my favorite Goodwill. We're talking about a painting. What kind of painting is rare? Which Goodwill? My favorite. The old worn map was still useful to the explorer. You could say the map was still useful to the explorer, but it gives a little bit more understanding of why that's important when you say that it was old and it was worn. And then many people cheered for the track star. Many. How many people? Many people cheered for the track star. What star? The track star. Pronouns, adjectives, and articles. Identify the pronouns and adjectives in the following paragraph. For 21 long days, the unhappy fisherman had not caught a single fish. He was frustrated, but he didn't give up. He kept an open mind and remained hopeful. The next day, he caught the perfect fish. It was a 10-pound albacore. Soon after this catch, he hooked a huge marlin. Tired but happy, he packed up his gear and sailed toward the shore. You can pause here to practice. The underlined words are the adjectives, and the highlighted words are the pronouns. So 21 and long, unhappy, single, frustrated, open, next, perfect, 10-pound, this, huge, tired, happy are all adjectives. Now it's your time to practice. Spice up the sentences by using adjectives. Write a summary on this lesson. Keep practicing. Go and be great. All right, until next time.